So good afternoon, Ananda. So in this experiment, we are going to cover two important concepts. One is timer programming, 8051 timer programming, and other one is the serial communication programming. Okay. So under timer programming, so we are going to understand two important methods. One is about polling method and another one is the interrupt method. Okay. So in this experiment, we have three subdivision. One is based on polling method, another one is second one is based on interrupt method, and um, third one is about that is how to generate two different waveforms using timer programming. Okay. And regarding serial port programming, we have two subdivision. One is already I have explained how to print that is how to display a character on UART window using SBF register. Here we are going to display a complete message with 15 characters in serial window. Use timer 1 for 9600 baud rate. And another thing is second subdivision is about interrupt program, serial interrupt program. Here we have three subdivisions. One is for monitoring receive interrupt. Second one is transmit interrupt. And third one, we have to generate square wave of 5 kilohertz frequency. So here we are going to write two interrupt service routine. One is related to your serial port and another one is related to your timer. Okay. So the first program is generate square wave on port 1.0 continuously with 1 millisecond delay using a polling method. Use timer 0 in mode 1. Okay. So what is the difference between polling and interrupt? Can anybody explain this? The difference between polling and interrupt? So I have covered these topics in your theory class. So can anybody unmute and tell me the answer? What is the difference between polling and interrupt? Students, please respond.
மேம் போலிங்னா வந்து மேம் இன்டரப்ட் நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொல்றேன் மேம். இன்டரப்ட்னா ஏதாச்சும் டிவைஸ் வந்து இன்டரப்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு இன்டிமேஷன் மாதிரி மேம். போலிங்கிறது சிமிலர் டு தட் மேம். அதாவது ஏதாச்சும் இன்டரப்ட் தேவையா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சிபியூ ஃபெட்ச் பண்ணுச்சுன்னா அது போலிங் மேம்.
இல்ல அது வந்து போலிங் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து இந்த போலிங்கிறது சம்திங் ரிலேட்டட் டு இன்டரப்டா இல்ல இட்ஸ் a different டெக்னிக்கா?
மேம் இன்டரப்ட் டெக்னிக்கே தாங்க மேம். ஆனா கண்டினியூஸா ரெகுலரா செக் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கும் மேம் இன்டரப்ட் தேவையா அப்படின்னு.
சரி. Any other answers? When interrupt occurs, the interrupt handler is executed. On the other hand, the polling CPU provides the service. Okay. So in polling method, your microcontroller will check each device status for any pending request. Okay, which means it keeps monitoring the device status. While doing so, it will not perform any operation. Okay, that case it won't be execute any programs or any operation, and it will consume lot of processing time in checking the device status. Okay. If you remember, when we generate square wave with timer using polling method, our program is continuously monitoring the overflow status all the time. Okay. But in case of your interrupt method, it will prevent the wastage of controller processing time, unlike polling method. For example, if the device requires the attention of microcontroller, so it can directly send an interrupt signal. It can directly interrupt the microcontroller at any time. And at the reception of interrupt signal, your microcontroller will stop all its activity. That is, the current execution will be stopped and it will handle the interrupt request. which means that your program control, the main program will be stopped and program control is transferred to interrupt service routine. Okay. So that interrupt signals may be sent from external device or internal device. Okay. So that is the difference between polling and interrupt. Okay. So for polling, the best example is to monitor the overflow flag status. That is the example. So I will explain the algorithm for polling method. So first, we have to identify the TMOD value based on your timer selection. And based on your time period, we have to calculate the initial value of timer, that is lower order register value and higher order register value. And once the value gets loaded into your lower order and higher order, you have to start your timer. After that, we have to monitor the overflow flag continuously. Okay. When overflow flag is set to 1 means you have to stop the timer and clear the overflow flag for the next round. Again, you have to repeat these steps in order to generate continuous square wave. Okay. So this is the problem statement. Please look at here. Generate square wave on P1.0 continuously with 1 millisecond delay using polling method. Okay. So first we have to find out the TMOD value. So what is the TMOD value? Please tell me. So timer 0 is selected here. It will be operating in mode 1. What is the TMOD value? What is TMOD value? 0, 1, very good. So here timer 0 is selected and timer 1, make all the bits at 0 and gate bit is 0, and here it is involved in timer operation. So this bit is 0 and mode 1 you have to apply 0, 1. That is 16-bit timer mode. So TMOD value is 0, 1. Okay. Next, we have to find out the initial value of your lower order timer and higher order timer. So here the time period is 1 millisecond time period. So you divide 1 millisecond by 1.085 microsecond. So the answer is 922. So according to your 16-bit timer, the maximum value of your timer 0 in mode 1 is 65536. Subtract this 922 from 65536. So you will be getting 64614. Convert that value into hexadecimal. Please note down the calculation. So you have to load this value in the higher order register and lower order register. So after loading the initial value, you have to start the timer by making run control bit is set to 1. Okay. And after that, you monitor the overflow flag continuously. So when overflow flag is set to 1 means, that is your timer has reached the maximum value, that is 65536. So clear the overflow flag for next operation and stop the timer. So this is the logic behind this program. It's a very simple logic. So first you have to identify your TMOD value based on timer and mode selection and find out the initial value of your timer based on your time period given in the problem, and start the timer and monitor the overflow flag. If overflow flag is set to 1, clear the overflow flag and stop the timer. Okay. So next we will see how to code this in embedded C. So this is the header file we are going to use, since it is based on 8051 hash include register 51.h, and we are going to generate square wave on P1.0. So it's a bit handling instruction. So we have to assign one variable by using this S bit syntax. S bit A is equal to P1 cap 0. So this is the syntax for assigning variable to individual port pins, okay? And inside main, you have to configure this P1.0 as a output port pin to generate continuous square wave. And inside while you toggle the P1.0 continuously. And after that, you have to incorporate your timer instruction, that is T-mod value, TL0, TH0 value, and TR0 is equal to 1, and monitor the overflow flag. So overflow flag set touch, you have to clear your overflow flag and stop the timer. So this is the outline of this program. I will execute this code in Tail Microvision. So here, port 1.0 is assigned with variable LED. And I have initialized this function, delay function. In this delay function, I have incorporated all your timer instructions. So your T mod is loaded with 0, 1, and initial values are loaded into TH0 and TL0, and timer gets started here. And this instruction is this instruction format is used to monitor the overflow flag continuously using polling method. When overflow flag is set to 1 means you stop the timer and clear the overflow flag. And inside while you have to toggle the P1.0. Okay. So here you can see the square wave is being generated on P1.0. So just you stop this and measure the frequency here. So you can see here 1 millisecond. That is approximately 9.02. That is approximately equal to 1 millisecond time period. For full cycle, the frequency is 537 Hertz. Okay. So next we will see how to do it in Proteus. This is a simple circuit. So connect LED to your port P1.0 and connect CRO. So your LED is continuously toggling here. Digital oscilloscope, the square wave is generated. And you can include this timer counter device to measure your frequency. So here you can include, that is you have to connect this counter timer device to port 1.0 and you can measure the frequency of square wave. Okay. Is that clear? Any doubts related to this? Any doubts in the first code? Okay. Shall we move on to the next? So next one is the interrupt method. So before that, we must understand the ISR definition for your timer 0 and timer 1. So this is the definition. So void ISR name. So this is the user definable name. You can give any name here. Void your ISR name and void interrupt space type. So every interrupt is associated with one type number based on priority. So here your INT 0 receives highest priority and serial port receives lowest priority. So INT 0 interrupt number is 0 and timer interrupt interrupt type number 1, external interrupt 1, type number 2, timer bar counter 1, type number 3, serial port 4. So suppose if you are using timer 0, you have to specify the type number here. That is type number for timer 0 is 1. Suppose if you are using timer 1, you have to specify type number 3 here. Okay. And you have to insert your ISR ports. So this is for timer 0 and this is for timer 1. And some of the application, if the timer has to be stopped after once the interrupt has occurred, so that case the ISR must contain the statement to stop the timer. So after writing your ISR codes, at the end of the ISR code, you have to include this statement to stop your timer. So this code is for your timer 1. And some application, if a routine return for timer interrupt has to be repeated again and again for continuous square wave generation. That case, initial value must be reloaded in the interrupt service routine. Example, FF is loaded into a higher order register and FC is loaded into lower order register. So coming into the logic, so here first you have to configure timer mode by passing a hex value to T mod, and after that here according to this problem, the T mod must be 1. So T mod is equal to 0x01. And next load the initial value of the timer based on the timer calculation. And coming into the interrupt enable register, since we are using interrupt method for this particular application, you have to initialize your IE register. Okay, so just you refer this format. To enable timer interrupt, at least 2 bits must be set in IE register. That is, EA must be set to 1, remaining bits are 0, 0, 0, 0. Here timer 0 interrupt 1, 0. So what is the value? 82. So to enable timer 0 interrupt, this 82 should be loaded into IE register. Similarly, to enable timer 1 interrupt, ET0 becomes 0, ET1 becomes 1. So what is the value? 88. So 88 should be loaded into IE register to enable timer 1 interrupt. Please note it down. Or you can directly assign 1 to EA bit, because the IE register is a bit addressable register. You can access individual bits by writing EA is equal to 1 and ET0 is equal to 1. Similarly, this method also can be applied while programming your timer 0 interrupt. So the only difference between your polling and interrupt method, here you have to initialize your IE register based on your timer selection. Here I am using timer 0, so I have to enable timer 0 interrupt in IE register, and EA is a global bit, that is enable all. And next one, the remaining steps are very similar to your polling method. You have to start your timer, monitor the overflow flag. If overflow flag is set, means your ISR will be called. Okay. So for that, we have to write a ISR for generating continuous square wave, that is toggling your port 1.0. Okay. So what is the condition for timer interrupt generation? எப்ப timer interrupt generate ஆகும்? எந்த கண்டிஷன்ல timer interrupt generate ஆகும்? That is, when will be an ISR called? That is timer 0 ISR called. In the conditions call ஆகும்? Please tell me, students. So to generate your timer 0 interrupt, okay, EA must be 1, okay, ET0 must be 1, and also TF0 must be 1. After TF1 means it will directly interrupt the microcontroller. Your program control is transferred from main program to the ISR. Is that clear? In the main, you have to initialize IE register, okay, by loading 82 value. And once the timer gets started, your microcontroller continuously polling the overflow flag. If overflow flag is set means your program will be interrupted. Okay, that time your microcontroller will stop its current execution and your program control is transferred to ISR. Is that clear? So this is the outline of your program. Similar to your polling, you have to define one variable for port 1.0. Just you look at the main program here. Okay, so here A is equal to 1. And you load this IE register with the value 82. Okay, and T mod value 0, 1. And initial values are loaded into higher order register and lower order register. Okay. And your run control bit is set to 1, and inside while you have to monitor your, that is in while 1, your this program continuously monitor your overflow flag. When overflow flag is set to 1 means already according to this logic EA is set to 1, EA is 1, ET not 1. So these two are enabled and overflow flag is set to 1. Once the timer has reached the maximum value, when these three conditions are met, your ISR will be called. So your program control is transferred from main to here. It will check first type number. So type number 1 means it will execute your timer 0 interrupt, and your port is toggled inside ISR. I have included toggling your port 1.0 and initial values are loaded into TH0 and TL0. Okay. So after completing this ISR routine, automatically your overflow flag is cleared. So this is a very important point while writing your ISR. There is no need of clearing overflow flag in the main program. After execution of ISR, this overflow flag is automatically cleared by 8051. And there is no need of starting the timer again. Again, your program control comes here and keep on monitoring your overflow flag status. When overflow is set, again your program control transfer here, square wave is continuous square wave is being generated on 1.0. So first you look at the main program. The program is very similar to your polling. So T mod is initialized and initial values are loaded into timer higher order and lower order register. Here I naught is loaded with 82 to enable a timer 0 interrupt and your timer gets started. Okay, TR naught is equal to 1 here. So it will continuously monitor the overflow flag status here. If overflow is set to 1, your program control is transferred from this line while 1 to your ISR. Here I have included this statement for continuous toggling, and after that I am loading this value and inga execute agumbodhu your timer registers will be clear. So I have to reload this value again. So reload the value into higher order and lower order register. After the execution of ISR, your program control again come back here to monitor the overflow status. I will execute at step-by-step execution. So first T mod is loaded with 0, 1. So please look at this window, timer window, once again. So next, with TL naught, TH naught is loaded with HC, and TL naught is loaded with 66. Okay. And next IE register, just you select this timer 0. So EA is set to 1 and ET naught is set to 1. Okay. And next, your TR not set to 1. Okay. So your timer start counting the clock pulses. Okay. I'm pressing. The count value is incremented here. I'm going to change this value because it requires 921 clock pulses. Okay. So now, so look at here, your program control is transferred from main to ISR. And here your P1 is toggled, that is P1.0 is toggled. And TH0 and TL0 is cleared after execution of your interrupt service routine. So next it is loaded with some value, that is FC07, because it's continuously receiving, your timer model is continuously receiving the clock pulses. Okay. And after executing, please look at this cursor. Your program control comes back to the main program. Again, it will check for your overflow flag status. Okay. I'm going to change the value again, FF. FE. Overflow is reached. Your program control is transferred to ISR and executing the instructions stored in this ISR. That is interrupt 1. And logic analyzer, you can see here the pulse, that is high to low pulse is generated. Okay. So let's run this code. So the continuous wave generated P1.0 using interrupt method. So we will measure the frequency. So the frequency is 542. So we are supposed to get 2 milliseconds. So we are getting 1.8. It's approximately equal to 2 milliseconds. For half cycle, 0.982 millisecond. Okay. So any doubts in interrupt method? Any doubts, ma? Yes.
And how while often corresponds to the TF flag checking one?
Actually, your timer is continuously running. Once again. See, here your timer is started. அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம timer stop பண்றதே இல்லை. It's continuously running. இங்க while 1ல first stepல பாத்துங்க your timer gets started here. Okay, அப்ப என்ன ஆகும்னா it's continuously receiving the clock pulse. So after reaching the maximum value உங்க TF0 வந்து set to 1. அப்ப என்ன ஆகும்னா IE registry செக் பண்ணும் எதெல்லாம் பிட் செட் ஆயிருக்கு. EA1 is set to 1 and ET0 is set to 1. ஒரு overflow flag is set to 1 போது இங்க இருந்து again transfer to இங்க ISR. ஸோ இப்போ என்ன ஆகும்னா உங்க டைமரை நான் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணவே இல்லை. இட்ஸ் கண்டினியூஸ்லி ரிசீவிங் த கிளாக் பல்ஸ். ஸோ இங்க டாக்லிங் நடக்குது. ஆஃப்டர் தட் ஐ எம் லோடிங் ரீலோடிங் த இனிஷியல் வேல்யூ ஆஃப் டைமர் டு TH0 அண்ட் TL0. அகெயின் உங்க ப்ரோக்ராம் கண்ட்ரோல் கம்ஸ் பேக் ஹியர். இப்போ டைமர் ஸ்டாப் ஆகவே இல்லை. நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா அங்க கிளாக் பல்சஸ் வந்து டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் இருக்கும். FC-க்கு பதிலாக என்ன இருக்கும்னா இந்த 66க்கு பதிலாக 72ன்னு காமிச்சிச்சு. ஏன்னா இந்த இடத்துலயே வந்து இவர் டைமர் வந்து will receive 4 more clock cycles. ஏன்னா டைமரை நம்ம ஸ்டாப் பண்ணவே இல்லை. டைமர் ஓடிட்டே தான் இருக்கு. ஓகே, ஸோ அப்போ என்ன ஆகும்னா அகைன் நீங்க while 1க்கு வரும்போது யுவர் overflow flag is set to 1 அப்படின்னா this that is your interrupt will be enabled. It's directly interrupt your 8051. So your program control is transferred to there. Every time it will check எந்தெந்த பிட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஒன்னா இருக்குன்னு பார்க்கும். IE ரெஜிஸ்டர் செக் பண்ணும். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஓவர்ஃப்ளோ ஃபிளாகை செட் பண்ணும். முதல்ல IE ரெஜிஸ்டர் நம்ம எனேபிள் பண்ணி வச்சுட்டோம். அப்புறம் இட் வில் மானிட்டர் the overflow flag continuously. Overflow flag set on என்ன ஆகும்னா your ISR will be called. The corresponding timer ISR will be called.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what happens if we didn't give while of 1?
இப்போ என்ன ஆகும் இங்க இல்ல இப்போ இந்த இடத்துல வந்து ஆக்சுவலி கண்டிப்பா ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கொடுத்து தான் ஆகணும். இப்போ வேணா கமெண்ட் பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம்.
Yes, ma'am.
ஏன்னா இட்ஸ் கண்டினியூஸ் ஜென்ரேஷன்ல அப்போ கண்டிப்பா இட் ரெக்வயர்ஸ் சம் while of 1 ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஹியர். ஓகே, இல்ல கவுண்ட் பாருங்க. சீக்வன்ஸா இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகல. இப்போ டைமர் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் while 1 போட்டாதான் அந்த இடத்துல ஸ்டே ஆயிருக்கும். ஐடியலா இருக்கும். ப்ரோக்ராம் கண்ட்ரோல் வந்து ஐடியலா இருக்கும். ப்ராசஸர் வில் பி இன் ஐடியல் ஸ்டேட். டைமர் வந்து ஃப்ரீக்வென்ட்லி கெட்டிங் த கிளாக் பல்சஸ். அப்போ கவுண்ட் ரெஜிஸ்டர் என்ன ஆகும், இன்க்ரிமெண்ட் ஆயிட்டே இருக்கும். இப்போ இந்த கேஸ்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ப்ளீஸ் லுக் அட் அகெயின் வந்து your program control transferred to the first line of your program. இப்போ கவுண்ட் பாருங்க. கவுண்ட் வந்து இன்க்ரிமெண்டிங்லேயே இல்லை. அதாவது எப்படி இருக்குன்னா இன்க்ரிமெண்டட் பை 1 இல்லை, ரேண்டமா இட் வில் இன்க்ரிமெண்ட் த கிளாக் பல்சஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ யூ ஹாவ் டு ஆட் while 1 at the end of this main program.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other doubts, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What about other students? So next program, the switch is connected to pin P1.2 to monitor P1.2 continuously and generate the following frequency based on your switch. P1.2 is equal to 0 means we have to generate 50 hertz square wave. 1.2 is equal to 1 means 750 hertz square wave. Okay, here we have to use timer 0, mode 1. Okay, so first you calculate the initial value for these two frequencies. Please do it. For 500 hertz and 750 hertz. First find out the initial value of the timer for 16-bit timer mode. For interrupt method, the Proteus design is similar to your polling. Okay, you have to connect one LED and CR and also counter timer device. First convert 500 hertz into time period and divide the time period by 2 for calculating on time and off time, and consider either on and off. Divide the time period by 1.085 microsecond. What is the answer for 500 hertz? F199. All of you getting this answer? F199. So what is time period, Bala Meenakshi? Converting frequency to time period? It's 2 millisecond. Huh? 2 millisecond or 4 millisecond? 500 into 2 millisecond. So you have to take 1 millisecond for considering either on and off. Okay. So 1 millisecond divided by 1.085 microsecond. Find out the answer, please. Do it quickly. So 1 millisecond divided by 1.085 microsecond answer Anna. Okay, 921. Subtract that value from 65536. Convert that value into hex. So what's the answer? HC67. Suppose if you are considering 921, you will be getting FC67, 922, FC66. So both are correct. You can take either FC67 or FC66. Okay, find out the initial value for 750 Hertz. So please note down the answer for 500 megahertz, 500 hertz. FD9A. What is the decimal value? 0.6 divided by 1.085 microsecond. I think so. Bala Meenakshi. Alavuddin enapa kadachadu unakku? 1.3 millisecond. Converting frequency into time period. 614. 614. What is the answer? FD9A or FD99? Please check your answer. FD9A. Okay, FD9A is the correct answer. So you convert that frequency into time period and divide by 2. Okay, and how many millisecond? 1.3 millisecond, I think. So 1.3 millisecond, that is divided into 0.6 millisecond plus 0.6. So 0.6 divided by 1.085 microsecond. So the answer is 614. So subtract that value from 65536. Okay. So what is the answer? FD9A. Otherwise, you can use this calculator. There is an online calculator. Square wave, 500 hertz. So the mode is 16-bit timer mode. So HC66. Okay. For 750, FD9A is the correct answer. So FD9A. So the logic for this program, so first you make this as input port 1.7 or 1.2. The switch is connected to 1.2. So 1.2, not 1.7. So this is 1.2. So make P1.2 as an input port. So the switch is connected. So assign variable SW for P1.2 and assign a variable for P1.7. That is A, assign variable A to P1.7 for square wave generation. Okay. So in main program, so inside while you toggle P1.7 and after that you have to check the switch status. Suppose if the switch is 0 means, okay, here I have written one call function, that is function declaration is T0 delay 0. I am passing 0 value to this function. So in this function, I have included T0 value and after that I am going to check the C value. So if C value is 0, we have to generate 50 Hertz square wave. For that, you have to load that initial value of timer into TH0 and TL0. Else, you have to generate 750 Hertz square wave. So after this, you start the timer and monitor the overflow flag. So you have to write separate function for passing the variable, passing the value from main program to your timer function, timer delay function. So please look at the code. So here P1.7 is assigned with the variable MyBit. So in this bit, I'm going to generate square wave and assume a switch is connected to P1.2. So SW, that is a variable SW is assigned to P1.2. So this statement is for your function declaration. So I am going to incorporate this function for passing the value 0 and 1. Okay. So inside while we have to check the first, before that you toggle the 4-bit and check your switch is equal to 0 or not. If it is 0, pass 0 value, else you pass 1. Okay. So in the function we have a character C. So when C is equal to 0 means TL0 and TH0 are loaded with HC67. Okay. Else, your TH0 and TL0 are loaded with FD9A. That is for 750 hertz square wave generation. So first you have to declare T mod value, and after this, start the timer, monitor the overflow flag. If the overflow flag is set to 1, you stop the timer and clear the overflow flag. So the difference here is you have to write a separate function based on your switch input. Okay. So P1.7 wave will be continuously generated, depends on your 1.2. So now your P1.2 is 1. I am changing this value to 0. You can see the frequency changes here. 1 means 500, 0 means 750. So this wave is the 500 hertz square wave. Okay. So I'm going to change this bit now. Now measure the frequency. One second. This is 500. 0 means 500. 0 means 500. Okay. 1 means 750. So 760, around 761. Okay. So 0 means 500 hertz square wave is generated on P1.7. Otherwise, 750 hertz square wave is generated on P1.7. So here we have to connect one switch to P1.2 for generating two different frequency. So now the switch is closed. It's a reverse logic here. So 500 hertz square wave is being generated on P1.2. So this is 750 and this is 500. At the same time, the LED which is connected to P1.7 is continuously toggling. Okay. So this is a schematic diagram for the third application. So any doubts regarding your timer programming? So I have explained polling method, and the disadvantage of polling method is the processing time is wasted. So in order to overcome that, we can include interrupts, timer interrupts, to save the processing time of microcontroller. So for that, we have to write separate ISR, separate routine for generating interrupts. And third one is, third program is about how to generate square wave with two different frequencies using timer 1. Any other doubts? Timer 0. Shall we move on to the next one, serial communication? Yes or no? Okay. So before that, you must understand your SCON register along with your baud rate generation. Okay. So here the problem statement is, we have to display a message, that is ECE department, on UART window in Keil Microvision. Use timer 1 for 9600 baud rate. Okay. So this table, this one describes your SMOD register. So we have to set the serial mode to 01. 01 is the 8-bit UART mode. So we have most of the application we are using this 8-bit UART mode. So here your data was packed between start and stop. Start 8-bit data plus stop. And SM0 is not used in 8051 and receive enable is 0. Sorry, receive enable is 1. 1. TB8, RB8 0 and TA and RA are set by hardware 8051 hardware. So SCON value is 50. So for baud rate generation, we have to use TH1. For 9600 baud rate, we have to load this FT value into higher order register 1. So we have to set TMOD register value in 8-bit auto reload. That is timer 1 in 8-bit auto reload. So while programming your serial port, first you have to move 50 into SMOD register and next you have to select your timer 1 in 8-bit auto reload. Based on that, you have to find out the TMOD value, load that value into TMOD and you have to start the timer and load this FD into TH1. So these two steps, these 4 steps are mandatory while programming your serial port of 8051. So next we will see how to display the message. Okay. So first initialize TMOD register to set timer 1 in mode 2. Okay. And SCON register to set serial mode 8-bit data, 1 stop bit and 1 start bit. And generate baud rate using timer 1. Next you start the timer. So these 4 steps are mandatory for programming your 8051 serial port. Next, so how many characters you have in this message? How many characters? So totally 15 characters. Okay. So here you have to include one for loop. So we are using for loop. Okay. That is using for loop, we are going to place each character in S buffer register. Okay. One by one. So after placing the character into S buffer register, we have to monitor your TA flag until it becomes 1. When TA is equal to 1 means your character is completely transmitted. Okay. And it is ready for, your S buffer is ready for next transmission. That is the meaning. So you have to monitor your TA continuously. So when TA is set to 1, clear the transmit interrupt flag to transmit next character and repeat the same operations. So first you store all the characters in an array. So that is the first step. Okay. So the syntax is unsigned character A is equal to, in bracket, because your S buffer register size is 8-bit. It can hold only 8-bit data. E, next comma, C. Likewise, you have to initialize your array. So in study material, the algorithm is wrongly given. Just you remove this ISR. So it is not related to ISR program. Just you note down the steps. So ISR programming is not involved in this program. Okay. So here, so first one is the array declaration, that is storing how many characters? 15 characters in array A, and initialize your T mod value. Why it is 20? Please tell me why it is 20. Why T mod is 20 here? Why T mod is 20? Timer 1, mode 2. Very good. So what is FD? FD is your baud rate. Okay. So first initialize tmon, next to tscon, and load your baud rate value into th1 and start the timer. Okay, and write a for loop here for getting a character from array and place the character into sbuffer register. So after placing the character, you have to monitor your transmit interrupt flag. Suppose if it is 1, you have to clear and initiate the, that is get the next character. Okay. So here, in this option, under view option, we have a serial windows. We have 3 UART windows. So after execution, the message is displayed on serial window. So you get the character, it will get the character from the array and place the character in sbuffer. When TA is set to 1 means your data was completely transmitted out of your 8051. So it will get the character one by one and display the character on UART window. Any doubts in this program? It's a very simple program. Any doubts, ma'am? So move on to the next program. So here in this problem statement, we have to write 2 ISR in this program. One ISR is for timer 0 interrupt for square wave generation, that is 5 kilohertz square wave generation, and second one is serial interrupt type 4, okay, for receiving the data from sbuffer and transfer it to P0. Okay, so 3 statements here. So receive data serially from UART window and send it to P0, and receive port 1, that is read port 1, transmit data serially and give a copy to P2. And next, make timer 0 generate square wave of 5 kilohertz frequency on P0.1. Okay, and baud rate is 9600. Okay, so first, what is the first thing is we are using P1, reading a port value from P1. So first you look at the main program. So this will be your main. We have to write 2 ISR. One ISR for square wave generation, that is 5 kilohertz generation. So this ISR is for, and this ISR is for first one, serial data serially, that's receive data serially from UART window and send it to port 0. Okay. So according to this statement, you have to assign P1 as input. Okay, so make P1 as input port, moving FF to P1. Next, we have to find out the T mod value. So T mod value 0, 0, 1, 0. This is for 8-bit auto reload. 0, 0, 1, 0. So timer 1. Timer 0. So timer 1 is utilized for your baud rate generation, that is 8-bit auto reload, and this is utilized for square wave generation. That is your third problem statement, generate square wave of 5 kilohertz. Okay, so the value is 22. So 22 is loaded with T mod. Okay, and here the baud rate is 9600. So FD. So transfer FD into TH1. Next, load 50 to SCON register for serial mode selection. Okay. And this A4 is for 5 kilohertz initial value, 8-bit auto reload mode. So 5 kilohertz, that is 200 microsecond, that is divided into 100 plus 100. So 100 microsecond divided by 1.085. That value should be subtracted from 256. So you will be getting A4. So you have to load this A4 into timer higher order register, TH0, for square wave generation. Please listen carefully. This TH0 is for square wave generation. This TH1 is for baud rate generation. So 2 timer operations are involved in this program. For that, we have to find out the T mod value. So T mod is 22. Because 2 timers are involved in this program. Okay. Next, we have to enable interrupts. So what type of interrupts are involved in this program? So how many interrupts are involved first? Please tell me how many interrupts are involved. எத்தனை interrupt? 2. Timer 0 and serial ports. Okay. So your IE register value, EA must be 1. Zero. Okay. Next, 0. Serial. Enable serial port interrupt. So that bit must be 1. Again, ET0 is not involved. EX1 is not involved. And ET0 is involved in this program. EX0 is not involved. So what is the answer? 92. So you have to load this 92 into IE. So after that, you have to start both the timers. So timer 1 is for baud rate generation and timer 0 is for square wave generation. So inside while, you have to incorporate the second statement. What is the second statement? You have to read the port content, P1 content, and transmit data serially. Serially means you have to use S buffer register. Okay. And after reading the data, you have to move the data into P2. So first get the data P1 and copy that data into variable. Already this X is assigned here, unsigned character X, and move that value into S buffer and X to P2. Now the value from P1 is copied into P2. Okay. So here both the timers get started. Okay. And inside while, it will continuously monitor the overflow flag. When TF0 is set to 1 means, so already your ET0 is set to 1 and EA is set to 1. If TF0 is 1 means this ISR will be called. So what is the purpose of this ISR? For continuous toggling of wave. Wave is nothing but your P 0.1. So this ISR is for square wave generation, 5 kilohertz square wave on P 0.1. Okay. And also execution of this while 1, it will continuously checking the character. That is, it's waiting for character from keyboard. That is waiting for character from UART window. If any character is present, okay, your serial port interrupt is enabled. That time your program control is transferred from while to here. So here, first we have to check TI. If TI is equal to 1 means clear the TI. Else, what is the statement? You have to get the data from UART. That data should be transferred to P0. So you transfer S buffer to P0. And RI is equal to 0 for receiving next character from UART window. So this is the logic. So here 2 ISR are involved. One is for generating square wave. Other one is for getting the character from keyboard through your UART window. If the character is present, your program control is transferred from main program to the ISR. And parallelly, it will read the data from P1 and transfer the data to P2 through SBuffer. So this program is the multitasking programming environment. Here all the 8051 concepts are covered. That is your timer concept, square wave generation concept, and serial communication concepts. Any doubts regarding program logic? I will demonstrate this code. After that, you will get a clear idea. I will first confuse. Do you have any doubts? Yes or no? No. Okay. First, I will explain the main. Okay. So here your P1 is configured as an input port. Okay. So here I have written one separate function for baud rate generation. Using this function, I can pass the baud rate values, that is serial underscore setup 9600. Please look at the function here. So here I have incorporated 4 switch cases. Suppose if A is equal to 9600 means your TH1 is loaded with FT. Okay, so we will have a separate function for baud rate generation. Suppose 4800 means TH1 is loaded with FA, 2400 F4, 1200 E8. So before that, you have to initialize your TMOD, SCON, and timer run control bit. Okay. So this function is especially for selecting baud rate, different baud rates. Suppose I am changing the value 4800 means this value is passed in this function based on the switch case. Your TH1 will be loaded with FA. Okay. And next your TH0. This is the initial value of the timer for 5 kilohertz square wave and start timer 0. And IE is initialized with 92 to enable serial port interrupt and timer 0 interrupt. Okay. So inside while I have used one variable for transferring the character from P1 to P2. Okay. So during the execution of this while one, any character is present in the serial window, your serial port interrupt will be called. Okay. So this is the serial port interrupt. Here we have to check TI is equal to 1 or not. Okay, because already we are transmitting some character into SBuffer. So when TA is equal to 1 means what? The buffer is full or empty? Please tell me. When TA is equal to 1 means buffer is empty, SBuffer is empty, or SBuffer is empty. Similarly, when RA is equal to 1 means SBuffer is full or empty? Full. Okay. So when the character is present, okay, first it will clear TI, that is clear your transmit interrupt flag, okay. Else, suppose when RA is 1 means these lines will be executed, that is transferring SBuffer to variable and that SBuffer value to P0, okay. After receiving the character, you continuously monitoring your RA and clear RA interrupt to accept next character, to get next character. So this is about your serial port interrupt, okay. So here your TR0 is enabled. At the same time, in IE register, your ET not is enabled and EA is enabled. If overflow flag is set to 1 means the timer ISR will be called, okay. So here I am going to generate square wave continuously on P 0.1. Is that clear? So two ISR, one is interrupt type 1, another one is interrupt type 4. So we will execute the code step by step, okay? Timer 0 for square wave generation, okay? And this is the serial channel for monitoring your TA and RI, and also S buffer register. And according to the main program, we are transferring the character, that is a value from, copying the value from P1 to P2, okay? P1 to P2. Suppose I am changing the value here, means that value should be copied into P2. So P0 is for generating square wave on P 0.1. At the same time, if the character is present, if the character is available in UART window, so that character should be reflected on P0. That should be copied into P0. Okay. So we will execute the code step by step. So first main program. Okay. The cursor is here. Please look at the cursor. So now P1 is assigned as input. Okay. Now I am calling the next function serial setup 9600. Okay, that function is called here. Your program control is transferred here, and T mod is loaded with 22. Please look at the timer window. T mod is loaded with 22. Okay, and next SCON is loaded with 50. Okay. Next TR1 is 1. Just you open timer 1. So TR1 is 1. Okay, it is enabled. TR1 is enabled. Okay. So according to the switch case, I am passing 9600. So TH1 is loaded with FD. Please look at here. Please look at here. So TH1 is loaded with FD. Okay. Again, the program control comes back to the main program. So what is the statement here? So this statement is for square wave generation. Okay. So the TH0 is loaded with A4. Please look at this window, timer 0 window. TH0 is loaded with A4. Next, IE register. IE is loaded with 92. Here you can see ET0 is enabled, EA is enabled, and serial interrupt is enabled for both reception and transmission. Okay. So what is the next one? I am transferring the character data from P1 to P2. Okay. So I am going to change this value, P1 value. Okay. See, please look at here. The P1 value is copied into P2. Suppose I am changing the value here. Okay. So FC is copied into P2. Okay. So during the execution of while, I am entering character capital A here. Okay. UART window, which means your program will be interrupted. Okay. So what will happen? Your program control is transferred from main to serial interrupt type 4. Okay. So here it is going to check whether TI is equal to 1 or not. So while we are entering character on UART window, RI is set to 1. Okay. Which means that one character is received from UART window. Okay. So after that, T is now 1, so it is cleared. Again, now look at the cursor. Your program control transferred this block. that is copying data from S buffer to P naught. Okay. So after execution, your P naught will hold 41. So for character A, the hexadecimal equivalent is 41. So see what will happen next. The character is returned into S buffer. Please look at here S buffer, that is 41 is returned into S buffer. Now your S buffer holds a character A. Okay. So next, now you look at here, your P naught is changed based on your S buffer. Since here according to this instruction, we are copying S buffer value into P naught. Okay. So it's checking for RI. So it's continuously checking. So again, I am going to enter the next character. So it's checking for next character. So now I'm giving character capital B. Okay. So your ISR is terminated. Again, it comes back to main program. It keeps on executing your main. Okay. I'm entering the next character. Your program control transferred here. And now you look at here, S buffer is holded with 42. Based on the S buffer, the value is changed. So that's all about this program. Any doubts? So why we are checking TI means, here we are continuously transferring the character from P1 to S buffer. So when S buffer is empty means, that is S buffer is, that is data is completely transmitted means is something related to TI. So TI is set to 1. So for that case, we have to stop the TI because a character is received on UART window. So we have to give a highest priority, give a priority to RI. So after that, we are checking the RI flag. Any doubts? So here, so I have connected 8 logic states to P port 1. Okay. So I will execute the code. So please look at this port 0.1. So here you have to connect one LED. Okay. So 0.1, the square wave is continuously generating on P 0.1. So transferring the character from P1 to P2. So I'm changing the values here. You can see the values are copying from P1 to P2. Okay. At the same time, at the virtual terminal, suppose, so virtual terminal is waiting for some character. Okay. I'm pressing character B. So the characters are received through virtual terminal. Okay. So here you have to connect LED for monitoring your square wave. You have to connect LED and CRO at P 0.1 terminal. Okay. So that's all. So any doubts? So this application is a very complicated application. It's very difficult to understand. Program panning, you will get an idea. Okay. Any doubts regarding serial communication? So in theory class, I have covered TI flag concepts for writing character A into S buffer. Similarly, I have explained how to receive a character through UART window. Okay. Any doubts? Do you have any doubts in serial communication?
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, why we are transferring port 1 message to S buffer, ma'am? Because we need to transfer port 1 message to only port 2. No? Why we are transferring it to S buffer?
Well, can you repeat the question? Why we are
Why we are
transferring?
port 1 to S buffer?
Actually, the statement is read port P1, transmit data serially. Serially means we have to use S buffer in 8051. What is the meaning of the serially? We have to use serial window, which means that S buffer register. So you have to transfer the character from P1 to P2 through S buffer. So that is the meaning. Serially means we have to use S buffer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So reception is something related to UART window. So you have to enter a character through your keyboard. So that character should be visible on your UART. Any other doubts? Students, any other doubts?